Well, welcome to Growing Perspectives with Kaisha. I'm excited that you chose to join us and listen in today. I'm excited to have a new guest with us, and her name is Mia, and she's going to tell us a little bit more about herself. Mia Royal Jackson. So, we had the opportunity to meet each other maybe over a year ago at a
Mhm.
Women in Leadership breakfast and we connected. And she was recently a guest speaker at one of our Women in Leadership breakfasts in Richmond this year. And I thought she would be great to come on the show and give us some more insights about her background and for us to get to know a little bit more about what she does in her career path. So, Mia, would you share with us what is your current role and tell us a little bit about your background?
Okay, like Kaisha said, my name is Mia Royal Jackson, and I am currently a resident in counseling here in the state of Virginia. I am doing outpatient counseling at a place called Centering Elements, which I like to call a teaching office for future counselors. And I also do some outpatient assessments at another business called Partnership for Success. I just do a lot of counseling and mental health work in the area.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I saw the smile when you said that. So tell us a little bit about like what did you do? Well, have you always been in counseling or did you do something before that, another career?
Okay, so I've done all the things. I'm just going to say that. So, to start, I have a bachelor's in science and psychology and social work from VCU. So, when I started at VCU, I actually wanted to be a teacher. But that things change, things happen. But I used to be a academic advisor for the biology department at VCU as a student, just helping other students trying to make their way, though I was not in the biology department. And then I was a stay-at-home mom for 9 years. So my transition from being at home with my kids back into the workforce took me into like retail and fast food and all the things until I said, you know what, I want to get back into the helping profession. And so in 2019, I went to Liberty, started at Liberty University online in the life coaching track at first. I was doing human services counseling with the track in life coaching before I switched to clinical mental health counseling to become a counselor.
That is wonderful. And that's exciting. I did not know your background was in education. You mentioned biology.
Yeah, so I've done a lot. Even now as a counselor, I am also outside of counseling, I am a manager for a catering company here in the area, Chopper Creations, which I am soon becoming a part owner of that. And I just like cooking. I love to do it, but I feel like I was called to be in the helping profession and work with the people that I work with.
That's awesome. And that's exciting. That's exciting. So tell us about, you talked about the different transitions that you had.
Mhm.
What did you feel were some of your keys to success to allow you to make those transitions successfully?
I think one of the main keys that I have found in the transitions I've made is it's never too late to pivot.
Mm.
While, you may think, okay, I'm getting older. Why haven't I figured out what I want to do in my life yet? Or, like I said, I was a stay-at-home mom. My husband's in the military, so my focus was his career and making sure that the kids were straight. But I realized, like, okay, I need something for myself. I know I was called to be in mental health work, especially helping young Black and Brown children. That's why I came into this to give them someone that looks like them, that gives them a safe space.
Right.
So yeah, the biggest thing is, it's never too late to pivot. If you know what you want to do and you want to give it a try, go ahead. If you don't succeed at that, then that's all right. You can keep trying or you can pivot to something else.
I love that. It's never too late to pivot. I love that. And I fully lean in on that. I love it. So tell us a little bit about, you told us what drew you to your current career.
Hmm.
You had a calling, you have a certain demographic that you want to create a safe space for. So you always knew you wanted to be in a helping profession. I heard you say
Hmm.
that a couple times.
Yes.
So what advice would you give someone who's considering going down a similar path you're in now with counseling?
Be sure that you know what you're getting into.
Say
So
more.
as so people always look at this field, of course you help people, but they do it for helping themselves. Like, oh, I want to be the person. It makes me feel good to help people. And of course, it does make me feel good to see the growth that I go through with my clients, but it can weigh on you. Like as a counselor, I have a counselor that I meet with to make sure that I am, in a good space and headspace to help the people that I am working with. But, it's like you have to be sure that this is the work you want to do. And if it's not, that's okay to say that. And realize that, maybe you weren't meant to be in this profession in this way. Because, like, outside of doing outpatient counseling, I do some mental health consulting. I did a presentation with you on boundaries. Like, I speak to different community areas, I mentor. It's just there's other ways to be in mental health without being like an outpatient therapist.
Oh, that's awesome. And I'm going to ask you a follow-up on that statement.
Hmm.
Just said there's other many ways to be into mental health or mental wellness.
Hmm.
How can people find out more information about the options if they're considering?
So there are so many different avenues to go into, as far as mental health care. Like, for instance, I do coaching and consulting. You may be able to find a mentor if it's something that you say, hey, I'm interested in what this person does. Like, I am working on becoming a licensed professional counselor, but I know a lot of licensed clinical social workers and marriage and family therapists. So there are different lanes to go to, and everyone doesn't do the same thing. Like my supervisor, though she is a clinical director in our office, she's also a professor. She also does, speaking. So it's just looking for the lane that you want to go to and finding the mentor or the resources in that lane.
That's awesome. And I love what you just said. You know, what strikes me is that it's pretty much wide open, so to speak.
Hmm.
You can pick your lane. And I love
Yeah.
it. And I also love the fact that in general, I'm hearing and I'm seeing people really embracing their mental health, mental
Yes.
wellness a lot more recently than like 10 years ago.
Yeah, I just feel like within the past 5 years, especially with COVID and people really having to sit
Yeah.
in their stuff.
Yes.
It's easy to, say I'm having a bad day or I'm having a bad month or, have these symptoms and signs of different disorders or different, struggles and go to work. But when you're stuck in the house, like, we were in lockdown, you had no choice but to sit in those things. And now the stigma has, decreased a lot because before it was, what happens in this house stays in this house, or,
Right.
pray about it, or, you don't need to talk to those people, that's those other people's things. They talk to those shrinks and stuff.
No, it is a very encouraging time. I love what you just said, and the stigma is going down. So I have a couple of questions, and then I want to open it up for you.
Hmm.
Um, what kind of final thoughts do you have to share with us about careers, your
Hmm.
career path, your transitions? Like you said, I've done it all. Yeah, I remember you saying that.
I've done a lot. Yeah, I've done a
Yes.
lot.
So what would be some additional final thoughts around success, careers, transitions that you like to share with us?
One thought that really comes to mind is finding your people, like your support system. Like when I decided to go back into the workforce after not working, for over 10, 11 years, my first job was with a friend of mine who said, okay, I have a catering business and I'm creating a job for you. So it's like that, is very helpful when you have the people to support you. When I decided I wanted to go back to grad school, this was my third attempt at going back to grad school. And they say third time's a charm.
Right. That's
So
right.
that was in 2019, right before, the pandemic hit. And I had to like really sit down with my people, my family, and my support system, say, hey, this is what I'm doing. It's going to be a little tough. And that was me doing that at 38 years old.
Man,
So, so it's like
that's awesome.
that's why I say it's never too late to pivot. But it's that first thing is to have your support system. And another is, give yourself grace. that's a big thing because it may take time. You may not know on your first, you know, day out, hey, this is really what I want to do. It could take you months, it could take you years, but the success will come if you stick with it and you put in the work.
I love it. I love all those points. So I'm just going to echo what you just said, the people, your support
Hmm.
system, giving yourself grace as well.
Hmm.
So those are fantastic. And I love the fact that you mentioned this was your third time going back to grad school,
Hmm.
and it's never too late. You share with us your age as well when you
Oh
went back.
yeah, I don't have a problem. Like I
You said,
just
hey,
turned 41 years old last week. I have no problem sharing and letting people know like it is really never too late.
I love that. And I love it. So, once again, you're listening to Growing Perspectives with Kaisha. Our guest today is Mia Royal Jackson, and she's in the mental health space. She has shared her career journey with us, some highlights. She shared with us a lot of her key transitions, and she really brought to life the breadth of the mental wellness space, really reminding us that there's different lanes you can go into. And another fact she keeps sharing with us is that it's never too late to pivot. So I want to ask Mia as we kind of wrap up for today, how can people contact you if they have other questions about what you do, your business? How can they contact you?
Okay, so because I have so many businesses, the best way to reach me, especially when you need mental health assistance, is through our website at centeringelements.com. We have, a chat feature that you can, send us messages. All the contact information is out there. We're located in North Chesterfield County. So yeah, that would be the best way to reach me. My social media is not connected to Mia, the counselor, so much. I do have Instagram at Road. Sorry, Instagram and TikTok at Mia RJ Road to LPC. But I don't communicate much through that because we could keep things off of social media. But if you wanted to find my contact information, you can go to centeringelements.com.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And you alluded to, and our last time seeing each other was at the Women in Leadership Breakfast that I
Hmm.
hosted in September, where you were the guest speaker. And you did a phenomenal job talking with us about why boundaries matter for women leaders.
Hmm.
If you had to leave us with 2 or 3 points around boundaries, what are some things we can lean into as we end this year or as we start 2025? What are some things about boundary that you would like for us to just be aware of?
Okay, so the first thing is just sharing what the difference between a rule and a boundary is, because a lot of people set rules into place and don't realize that's not the same. So when you think of rules, it's a regulation or procedure that guides someone else's behavior. So if you think about traffic laws and no smoking in buildings, those are what you can tell people that they can and cannot do. But when it comes to setting your own personal boundaries, it's guiding your behavior in response to what people do when they violate your request.
Mm.
So if someone is cursing or yelling at you, you choose, hey, I don't want to continue to talk to you. I can leave this space, as opposed to you just saying, you stop cursing or get out. You're giving them the control to do what they want to do. And another point is, to me, boundaries are a form of self-care. So when you set your boundaries, it's to protect yourself and to make sure that you are in a good space and you are being treated the way you want to be treated and only dealing with the things that you want to deal with. For example, I don't talk about politics, but this week was rough.
Right.
So I chose to set the boundary for myself to not be on social media. When people bring up political conversations, escape I exit from the whole situation. Say, y'all got it. I'm just want to leave. So to set those boundaries for yourself is a form of self-care, and it's a big one because you choose how you allow people to treat you. You choose what you allow yourself to take into your, mind, body, and spirit. And that's what you're doing best for yourself.
Love it. Love it. Well, I can't thank you enough. You gave us insights around boundaries as we wrap up the year, get
Mhm.
ready to start 2025. You gave us your career journey and highlights and tips for successful transitions. So I'm just going to leave with a couple of final updates from Growing Perspectives. And I want to thank you for sharing your experience and time with us today.
And thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And I look forward to staying connected with you. Our next upcoming event that we have is our Women in Leadership Winter Retreat, and that is Saturday, January the 4th. We are headed to Richmond, Virginia. If you like more details on that retreat, please visit our website at www.growingperspectives.com. This is our fourth year, and we are so excited to host this annual retreat. In the new year, we will share updates on our next Women in Leadership breakfast and Women in Leadership social as well. So have a wonderful day and thank you for listening to Growing Perspectives with Kaisha.